Hello, everybody. Oh my God. You don't know how pleased and privileged I am to welcome my dear friend and sister, Jessica Khalaf. How are you?
Well, I am equally pleased and so happy to see you and to be with you and to share so much together, not only when we're together, but also online. It's amazing. It's as
It's
if we're
so mean.
together again, and it's wonderful.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, in this program, the 13th episode of Back to Joy, you're going to be so joyful to be here with Jessica, what I call the intrepid woman, because no means nothing, right, Jessica?
No means absolutely nothing.
Oh, the story of this beautiful woman, Lebanese, who teaches me and everyone without her knowing, because she's not a teacher like I'm going to teach you. She just exudes all this resilience, all this joy for life, this kindness. You will be bewitched like I am with all the stories that we are going to bring up here. Thank you for being here and share with us your stories and your tools to spring back to joy. And another joyful part, but I couldn't find pictures of that time when you were here in Villa's Issue. Tell us, how was your experience when you came? And I invited you while I wasn't here.
That was the one and only time that I will never forget in my life because I have never had an invitation where I knew that that person is there, although they are miles and miles and seas away. Gloria was with me from the time I got on the plane right up until I got to Villaxichu and was surprised when that gate door opened. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And it was amazing because it was the first time in my life I got to completely shut everything out of my life and have nothing to think about, neither to do with business, nor work, nor commitments, nor responsibilities, nor family. I was completely off in a place that is so magical. It made me root back into my soul and into the depth of me in a magical place, really. And all the time, Gloria was there, although she was not there. So you're remarkable how you're able to share so much with me
I want
in the
to,
beautiful Villaxichu, even without your presence physically being there, but emotionally being there. And I learned that emotions is everything.
you
It's
know,
not about the person physically being there, but it's the person's love, aura, soul that connects you always and forever.
what you,
Beautiful, beautiful
oh, I'm glad to say. I
Villaxichu.
want to run a video that shows this magic that is felt. Why? Because we have this quartz under San Miguel de Allende, the town where we are at. And because the trees are 200 plus years old, and because all the workers who did the 8 villas with their hands are artisans, they're artists at heart. And when you ask them what makes you happy, most of them they'll say, to be with my family, to help my father, you know, and all that is just like, I did nothing really. That this place, Villas Hishu, Hishu means the sisterhood of grandmothers. So imagine that name and this grandmother, the spirits of so many people that have been here to celebrate their events in whichever way they want, because we weave them. So let me share this little video I prepared because I am missing, not missing, I don't miss, I celebrate all the people that have been here like you. And so in one of these days, I was just, strolling around the gardens, and this is what came out. It's in Spanish, and it says, welcome back. Remember days, dear friends. We are here in the magic of Villa Tishu, feeling you. Here we go.
I'm all ready.
Buenos días, desde Villas Hishu, San Miguel de Allende, recordando esos momentos maravillosos que hemos pasado juntos. Vean qué maravilla, acuérdense de cuando caminamos aquí juntos. Desde Villas Hishu, les mandamos un gran abrazo a ustedes, nuestros muy queridos huéspedes. esperamos que siempre estén contentos y felices recordando la propia grandeza. Que Dios los bendiga. Un súper abrazo desde su casa, Villas Quixó.
The last sentence was.
I feel like it's my place as well. I feel that it is a place where I can share very easily without any barriers. And certainly what you said about it being art and artisan and how the people worked in their hands to bring it all together. I felt that in every corner and every aspect and everything I looked at as if I was walking into a gallery, really, and took attention to the colors, to the details, to the different villas that have different structures, different tiles. And I just loved how the porcelain was all hand painted. There's really a lot of art in there, and I felt so happy. It's like I was inside the art. The art, I wasn't looking at the art, I was inside the art.
You were
And it's
inside
a
the art.
beautiful feeling.
And aren't you an artist by birth? Tell us, you're born in Lebanon, correct?
Correct.
In a family of artists.
Artists.
Haute couture. Tell us a little bit about your background as an artist born in Lebanon. And what is Lebanon? Because, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I am so grateful to Lebanon, the country that never bring back to joy. You guys always bring back to joy. The country where my kids were educated. Tell us more about that wonderful country who speaks always Ya Hayati, Ya Rahmama, all these nice words all the time.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Ya Hayati means my life. Ya Rahmama means the soul of my life. So I guess somehow I look at it as a blessing that I was born in Lebanon with a family of artists, because right from childhood, I believe not only from childhood, it was actually when I was in my mother's stomach, still unborn. My father would put classical music and speakers on my mother's tummy, so I'm able to hear the music when I'm inside, and somehow dance and perform and start dreaming before I even come out into life. And when I did finally come out to life, boy, did I give them an experience.
All the experiences you gave us.
So it started right away. I mean, I wanted to see, of course, got so attached to my parents very easily and very quickly, because for them, it was about the art of giving time, quality time to the children. And it was teaching all the time, teaching ethics, principles, dignity, pride, love, how to share love, how to contribute love, how to distribute love, which is very beautiful. And as a child growing up, we learned how to draw before we learned how to write. And we had music in the house all the time. My grandmother had a big atelier where she would do most of the clothes in Beirut City. She was a designer and a tailor. My aunts were. My mother took after her. My father is a painter of the grand artists. He does the reproductions by hand, visually, without any traces or any technology, obviously, which we never had in those days. He's a classical pianist. He plays 3 or 4 different kinds of instruments. He's highly literate, highly educated, and very much a walking dictionary, we consider him. So I think all the input that brought to us by loving parents in the art was part of the DNA of who we are today. But what I didn't know until I grew up is that Lebanon was a very big benefactor that also added to that in my personal life and in our family's life, because Lebanon is a kind of place where the topography has so many changes, and climate and visuals and mountains, beaches, city. There's such a diversity, and that diversity is with the people as well as with the nature. And it teaches you how to be very flexible, and it teaches you how to adapt very quickly. And of course, we wouldn't know that as kids until we started traveling to other countries. And every time we needed to travel, we need to adapt, we need to learn. And it was a bit of an easier process for us than it would have been for any other child, because somehow Lebanon already gave us that equipment by nature, which it still does until today.
I would like to add, as a non-Lebanese who became Lebanese at heart, that I would like to let all of you know, dear audience, that Lebanon is a very small country. It is like mountain to sea to beach, so it's really really beautiful, the contrast. In fact, my house is in the mountain, and I can reach the sea in 10 minutes. So I can be in the mountain and in the sea the same day. What I wanted to say is that it is a very small country. Original population is 4 million, and there's plus 2 million now after the Syrian drama, because Lebanon opens the doors to anyone. So they have 50% population, which is Syrian. And then there's like 30 million Lebanese abroad. The Lebanese abroad, they will go, and everywhere you go, you will see they're Mexican. They're, in Mexico, we have so many. They are successful. Then they go back. They get married in Lebanon, and then they come back. So they are big travelers. This is something that's natural to you, Jessica, like you were mentioning, travelers. But this is what Lebanon is: big community of travelers, intrepid people, high resilience,
Yes.
and incredible sense of life. I remember somebody telling me during your big long war there would be bombings, and they were with their best crystal wear in the balcony
I lived
celebrating
that.
life. Maybe this is the last cup of champagne,
Yes.
glass of champagne I can drink. And then they were telling me there was a bomb, and they would say, "Salud, sahten, saha," which means health. And they are all still alive, the people who told me this. I mean, what way to go through a war
Yes.
with champagne? Say maybe this is the last one. So let's have the last breath alive. Can you tell us your experience during this very difficult times? How did you always spring back to joy? In the
There are many links and many secrets that make you resilient and spring back to joy. And I would say primarily it's the faith that's innate. And somehow we feel like we're all surrounded by faith in such a small land. It has a lot of history with faith as well. And that's just passed on either with family or even without family. It's just you're surrounded by it. That's one. Two, it's also the people. I believe that negativity invites negativity and positivity invites positivity. And the people by nature are positive. So when one is down and 10 are up, surely that one that's down is going to be raised up. So there's always that balance that you're surrounded with people who are going to give you their helping hand, and they're going to pull you up, and they're going to help you out, and they're going to feel with you and share with you whatever they can. So that is a very important chemistry of humanity, which is rare. And I experienced that in one of the wars that I did go through, as well as the fact that at times like this, you become more thankful on a daily basis of whatever it is that you have, and you do want to live life to the fullest. And you do, and you can, because it's all in the heart and soul, saying, you know what, I'm going to fight, I'm going to make it, I'm going to do the best I can, I'm going to wait for tomorrow, and I want to live tomorrow, and I want to live after tomorrow, and I'm going to find a way to do it. Any way that I can, I'm going to find a way to do it. And there are so many channels and so many people and so many doors that will help you to make a decision and push you forward. So thanks to faith and thanks to the people.
Now, I remember, I mean, I've seen you. I came to Lebanon when just maybe 2, 3 years after they had finished this war, and they were reconstructing the center of Beirut.
Yes.
I remember arriving at the airport, and the roads were still all broken. I remember my beautiful husband took me to a restaurant where it was so beautiful. There was so much food, because Lebanese serve you what you can eat in a week in one sip. And I remember a lot of debris everywhere, but the restaurant was impeccable. But they didn't care was debris. Who cares? Who cares? This is what I'm living, and this is what I'm sharing. I remember very clearly what was, and slowly it came back. But even the debris, people are smiling.
Yes.
Can I picture clearly how you're always helping. I mean, I know you lend us such helping hands all the time. Can you tell us what kind of reaction happened now. We had another blast. I think it was in August in
This course,
right. Tell us. I want to post a picture that really hit my heart. I think I found it in your. I found it in your Instagram. I felt, my God, this woman. What is this? Tell us about this picture.
this picture is a sign of resilience. This is one of the ateliers, and Lebanon is very famous for their artisans and haute couture, which is the industry that I'm in. And many of the buildings and the ateliers were completely blasted and gutted and people injured. So this is what was inside, blue outside, and they just arranged it nicely the next day for a photo to show that, you know what, we're going to keep going. This is not going to stop us. And it's a beautiful image that gives a lot of strength to everyone in the industry. Even if there's a few of us, including myself, that sometimes feel down, feel tired, feel drained, but still one pushes the other one forward somehow, and it's a chain reaction. And that's what this photo represents for me.
Wow, it's just really, really. I mean, absolute. This one.
This one is very much what Lebanon and my work is all about. Haute couture and the flag being torn to shreds and nothing left of it. And you know what? We're just going to get the needle and thread and sew it back together and help each other again and make it a flag again and unite everybody again.
Oh my God, I'm just very, very. You just said it's your work. So who is Jessica the professional?
Excuse me, I didn't understand the question.
Who is Jessica the professional? You said you just mentioned that this is your.
Jessica the professional. Jessica the professional is a person who loves her work, was born for her work, and just as my father put the speakers with the classical music, he must have somehow made an announcement to say, hey, this is what you're going to do. So my work is in haute couture. It's a very highest elite luxury for private clients, for brides and weddings. So I work intensely and closely with some of the best designers in the world to style and to create from A to Z a bespoke piece, which is worn only once, made only once, to represent the bride and her dream, her style, and her character, all put together in perfection, and it becomes a piece of art that remains forever and has an equal value for forever as well, because it is truly a piece of art that's handmade, hand beaded, hand created with a lot of thought and a lot of time, a lot of time, a lot of love, a lot of compassion. And it's beautiful to see that on different levels, whether the relation is between designer and designer or designer and the client, that passion is just as equal and just as strong. So that's why it's so beautiful to connect with the most amazing people. I'm blessed to do this. And I love what I do, truly love what I do. There is no time limit. There's no days, there's no weekends, there's no days off, there's no years, there's no schedule. It's just doing what you love and flowing with it. And I know very much, as Gloria, what I mean by flow. You flow with it naturally and you let it take you on a ride, which is one of the most beautiful rides, a very dreamy, artistic ride that you live in and day out.
This dreamy artistic ride in this dress. I mean, I remember, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, she was here. I was over there in Dubai, and or I was in Lebanon, I don't know. And she was telling me over the phone how much she loves fabrics and how she had gone to our fabrics and touched them, and she was almost crying. So when I see this fabric, I want to cry it too. Tell us a little bit about the life in this dress, in this amazing. Tell us a little bit more, please, because this is alive. This is like
Well,
the woman is wearing life.
she's wearing life, she's wearing art. And yes, I do cry when I see the perfect fabric until today, not just when I was young and studying or had been for the first time to the most important place for weaving or coloring or beading. Um, but the process that it all goes through from beginning to end is such a long process that a lot of people don't realize what it is. So when I cry, it's because I'm appreciating how the thread was woven, how it was created into a fabric, how the color composition was made, how the beading was done, how the cut and the silhouette was done, how the design was done, how the styling was done. So once it comes all together like this and you touch it, you're touching some kind of an electric magnet of art, and you can't but feel emotional if you're compassionate about what you do for a living, obviously. But definitely you get emotional because it's something that's overpowering with beauty.
Yes. And I want to ask you if this is like wearing life. So all these dresses are like your.
Each one is like a child for me.
So this one
And
specifically,
each
before I go to the next one, and Connie, yes, I know it's beautiful. There's people giving their comments. Elaniel, it's very nice. Yes.
this
It's,
one is a
tell
new
us,
one.
how did it come to your head? How does it come to be born?
This one is something that has just been released this week by Ziad Nakad. It's the latest resilient collection that's come out after the blast. Intensely thought of, very suitable for the times that we're living in now, and very suitable for the lifestyle that has changed for us in 2020 as well. So this again has a lot of representation between beauty, art, resilience, fashion, and um, the different forms of brides that are possible in this age that we live in now.
What is the name of the designer? Ziad
Ziad Nakad, a
Nakad.
person I work with dearly and represent dearly, intensely, and have done many weddings with.
Mhm. So this is interesting. Can you imagine that your town is completely blasted away? I'm just so thankful that hardly there were not so many casualties, thanks to the the contingent to keep people indoors. So many people were saved. So there's always a good side to everything. Now this is, you say, the latest proof of resilience after the blast in Beirut. Can we learn from this how to spring back into joy?
Love life, love what you do, and believe in yourself, believe in others, believe in humanity.
Believe in humanity. Tell us a bit about this one.
That's also from the same Ziad Nakat, the same photo shoot that happened just a week ago. It was done in nature. And you will find a lot of people in this industry are going out to nature. It's kind of like an underlaying message to all the people to show humanity and nature and the importance of Mother Nature to us in this world.
Oh,
And
nice.
how we need to value it, take care of it so it can take care of us back.
I just really love what you said. I want to write it down. The importance of Mother Nature coming back, is coming back in the consciousness of people after these challenging times. You would say that, no?
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of people in the past, there was a percentage of people that always loved nature and animals and were very thankful on a daily basis. But there was a very high percentage that did not even notice if it was right in front of them. And I think this pandemic really taught a lot to pay attention to what people did not pay attention to: the sky, the water, the nature, the flowers, the animals. Without them, we won't survive. There is no tomorrow. So I'm very happy to see that fashion and art is also somehow sending that message out to those on a regular basis in a very beautiful, light manner that perhaps will become a part of the way people think on a daily basis.
And I believe that this is exactly what this sweet COVID, they call the virus that everybody is just pounding on. It's just
Yeah.
another virus, but if you really see it from the outside point of view, you know that we are here all to coexist. So now we're going to work together. For me, for example, this I've been here 7 months. It's hardly ever I stay so much in one place, and it has been such a joy to touch the hearts of the artisans of the, we have an orchard now, so I'm now also a
So
peasant.
beautiful what you've done. So beautiful what you've
Or
done.
when you speak to the people who are, because construction never stop. You talk to the guys that are from sun to sun pounding on the stones to make walls. You say good morning, good afternoon, and they will just greet you with their hearts. I learned so much. This consciousness about nature is so strong. I am also learning about, the spirit of plants, the spirit of cacao, and the ceremonies which open hearts, and we're doing those here in our beautiful Victoria's Center in Villa Sishu. I mean, we have a full week of what I call serenity events, because in my mind now,
Yeah.
thanks to this pandemic, I feel, I want to see the world fed, dignified, very, very, very serene, calm, and hugged. So this serenity vision part of it has developed in somehow, because everything happens just as you see it. I'm studying the power of our ancestors, the plants. What does the rose do? So in the cacao ceremony, I add this rose petals to the mix. So when people take it, the cocoa bean has the ability to open your heart, which means put your guard down. No more fear. Put the guard down. So when
I
you
love
do that,
that.
in a place where you feel safe, there is maybe some nice essential oil put onto you, and then you relax. You put down. Now you are ready to say, "Hey, I feel worried. Hey, I'm fed up. Hey, yeah, I'm not as bad as I thought. I think I'm very resilient." You start, and then you have the rose spirit in that drink, and that rose, what does it do? It's the highest vibrational frequency in all the animal kingdom, plant kingdom. It will bring back to restructure your heart. You see, I have two hearts today. What
I
does it?
have more than two hearts.
So what does this do? It helps you. It guides you to feel, I don't feel offended anymore. I just understand the other person. So your broken heart will not be broken anymore, and you don't have to forgive. No, no, you're not offended, because you become so much more empathetic. Then
More understanding.
and so now you come back to serenity. So all these things are happening now thanks to what seems to be a huge challenge. And I'm really, really delighted to feel so much more admiration for our people, for our workers, for all those people who really, they just stayed in the faith that you mentioned at the beginning, stayed in the people. They still go out in the streets and they sell their fruit. Maybe they're going to be chased. They don't care. They will appear somewhere else. Let me tell the somewhere else. I have a very funny story with my resilient friend and sister, Jessica. Can you tell us the time that you had excess luggage? You were going to fly from Paris or something. Can you tell us that story, please?
Well, this just shows you, I think, people who do their job just because they have to and not because they want to. So their concentration level is not as high, and the love of their job is not so compassionate. So it becomes a bit robotic. And once you become a bit robotic, you don't see, you don't hear, you don't smell, you don't taste, and you don't touch anymore. So the best way to prove this is I was at an airport in Milano, and my favorite shopping item to buy when I'm away is always books and food items, of course, and music. So I had so many books and so much music with me and little sachets and stuff. So I had overweight. When I checked in the luggage, they told me, sorry, it's overweight. You have to pay I don't know what, which was a very huge amount. And I said, no, I can put it in a trolley and my hand luggage and take it away. And she said, yes, and that's going to be like 20 kilos that you have to take away, but you cannot on hand luggage because you're only allowed 7 kilos on hand luggage. So what are you going to do with the rest? I said, oh, no problem. I'll take them out and I'll give them away, whatever. I'll get it arranged. She said, okay. So I put the luggage on the floor, and of course, nobody can see because the counter is to here, and that woman can't see anything once I'm down on the floor removing things. I removed everything out of the suitcase. I put it back on the scale, and I stood up and I said, is this the right weight now? And she said, yes. I said, okay, so can I zip it up? And she said, yes. So I removed it. I put everything back in the suitcase the way it was, zipped it up, put it in, and looked at her and kept talking to her. So she doesn't look at the scale because she's a robot, because she does not enjoy her job. So she becomes a robot. And I told her, are you happy now? Is everything good? She said, everything is great. Thank you. And she pressed the button. It was done.
You know, I just really want to mention.
So I'm not being rude to people who have jobs or who have work. I don't mean to come across negatively. The only thing I want to say about this story is that, as you put it, the person who no means nothing to, it basically just means that if you speak to people in a human way, or you try to speak to them in a logical way, things
Ah, we lost. We lost you a little bit. We lost you a little. We can't hear you.
not a problem.
Now there.
Yes.
You were
So it wasn't to be critical about it, but it's just to say there's always a way around things to get them done. And if you can do it in a decent way where you're not hurting anybody at all.
So this is where I wanted
Not
to.
hurting anybody at all is very important and no means nothing at all.
I want to express this, seeing you from outside, which I really appreciate. Resilience and being intrepid have a lot to do with being respectful, because resilience doesn't mean I'm going to do it my way. I don't care about you. No,
No,
You're
no.
like, you mentioned at the beginning of the story that if you become robotic because you don't enjoy your job, then you're not going to be there doing whatever you're doing. So you come to this lady in a very respectful way, and you know that, I mean, it's nonsense to pay all this amount, but she's not going to, because she's not there in her job. She would have been, you would have approached her differently. So you understood. I said, okay. So you start taking the books out from one side and inside from the other side, because she cannot see. But you are not wanting to be fishy. You just want.
No.
That's what I want to say.
No,
So this is
not
where
at all.
something which is your way of life. I have
Something happened
no
yesterday.
nothing.
Something happened yesterday, maybe, that I can share. And I put a little story on my Instagram. It's funny how many people actually, I got comments on it.
Okay.
And it's the same thing. If you will allow me to tell this little story. But it's the same thing, how human behavior. I mean, they don't want to listen anymore. They don't want to give. They don't want to talk. I went to do a document yesterday, a legal document, and I was dressed in an extremely conservative dress, high neck, long sleeves below the knee, totally covered up. It just cannot be, hair pulled back, the mask, like super classic. And when I walked in, the security looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, you cannot do this document." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you're wearing a dress." I was a bit surprised.
What were you supposed to be wearing, pants or?
So I said, "Well, what exactly am I supposed to wear?" And he said, "Well, you have to cover your legs." I said, "There's no law in this country. I've been here 42 years and I know the law very well and I don't break it. I'm very classical. I'm here to do a document. I can come in and do it like a dress."
Was your skirt?
No, you can't. No,
Was
you
it
can't.
short? Was your skirt short? Was your skirt short?
Below the knee, very classic, not waisted, high neck, long sleeves, black, plain dress, nothing. You can't see anything.
Okay.
So he said, "No, you can't do this document." And that document had to be done yesterday. If there's any delays, I will be in penalty. And I don't want to be in penalty. I made the time especially out of my schedule to do this. So I went in the car, of course, not disappointed, just understanding that this person just doesn't understand. And I said to the driver, "Take me to the other building that does the same thing." Because, there are branches for government buildings here. I said, "Take me to the other branch, which is a few blocks away." And I walked in with the same dress, with the same file. "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I'm fine. How are you?" I walked in, I finished everything and walked out. So had I shut down and gotten upset and gotten emotional and said, "Oh, I'm having a bad day and I have to go and come back next day," there's the whole point of No Means Nothing is to find creative thinking and ways to go on and keep moving forward and keep smiling and keep positive and keep polite and keep nice and don't hurt anybody, and there's always a way. Just
There's always.
open your senses, open your senses.
Mhm. So you said something really nice. Find another way. So how do you stay in a cool head? You know, when you say, "I have to do this today," and how do you help yourself choose not to vociferate and be upset and simply take a creative solution?
I follow my soul, I follow my heart.
Follow the soul. I want to write that down. You follow your soul. Okay, we will go to there. Follow my.
Everyone has a soul inside of them that they refuse to listen to because they don't have time to listen to. So if you listen to it, it'll guide you, and it guides you so beautifully.
So follow my heart and soul. When I used to be very upset at life because I thought I wasn't loved and I thought I was worth nothing, it was very hard for me to remember that I had a soul to follow, or that I was important enough to have a heart. You know, it was like I was just in such fear, and I became epileptic out of the soul. So everything was like, "Argh." So how would you say or tell someone that felt like I did? I mean, now that's my throne. Instead of being thorns, it's my throne. I realized how to do this. Can you tell us in your words, because you've been there too. You've been there in wars. You've seen things that we can't even imagine. Mexico doesn't have this kind of how many years of wars that you had to study with candles because there was no electricity. How do you go back to remembering you have a heart and a soul to follow?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I don't want to take the liberty of saying that I studied in the candles during that period of the war. When I from downtown, we actually did move to a foreign country and lived there for my schooling years.
Uh-huh.
That was, I believe, a good decision because it just made us more independent and more.
Where was that?
We moved from Lebanon to Canada.
Canada. Okay. Mhm.
So, what I can say the reason for this is because there were so many changes in our lives on a regular basis, and they would be very drastic changes. It could be that now you have everything, tomorrow you have nothing. Now you have finances, tomorrow you're broke. Now you have health, tomorrow you don't. Now you have family all around you, and all of a sudden you're out on your own with no family at all. So all the different aspects of life and all the different possibilities of change that can occur on a regular basis happened on a regular basis. And instead of turning sour and upset, it taught me personally how to be more patient. And it also taught me to follow my heart and my soul, which are always right because they're guided from what I believe is my faith. And I don't believe that anyone that is pure, such as my faith or my family, would deceive me. So by following that, I always seem to be following the light somehow. And that light is inside, and I follow it. And the root of it is the way that I was brought up as well, saying always be kind, don't take anything, don't accept anything from anyone. You have to build yourself, do yourself, always be dignified, always be dignified, always let people say nice things about you when you turn your back rather than saying bad things about you when you turn your back. And your character is the most important value that you have in your life. It's not the exterior. It's the interior. So that is the most valuable human asset.
Here we
And
have your character
we never forgot that.
in family. Here, this is the picture.
That is a family. That is a true family. And you know how much I adore and how
Yeah.
much I respect your family
Yeah.
because your base and your roots are based on trust, it's based on freedom, it's based on humanity. There's a lot of education and a lot of sharing that goes amongst all the traveling that you have all been through. And it's an open school that's ongoing, full of diversity as well, with so many cultures, so many languages, and so many different life experiences that you've shared. And we love you for that. We love you and all your family for that. Each one somehow has a special character, but united, you have the same roots. And that's the most important. And I've said this time and time again, and that's what drew me to be your friend. That's what drew me to respect you. that's what drew me to always want to keep in touch, always to hear your news, always to share experiences together, brainstorm together. And there's always new passages that we learn from each other as well. So certainly your family has been just as much of an education for me with all the different diversities of my life. And part of it was meeting you in Lebanon, meeting you here, meeting you in Mexico when you were not there. So it was also a part of growing. It was also part of growing and experiencing life with people, with good, kind people, good, kind hearts, who don't know how to hurt others. And that is, for me, a person who does not know how to hurt others cannot be a more human wonder that I adore absolutely with no reservations whatsoever.
Oh, my dear girl. I'm so impressed that the time is flying so fast. I need to ask you now this question because everybody is going to benefit from what are the 3 tools. Let me write them down. What are the 3 tools that you use? Are the 3 tools that you use to spring back into joy in times of challenge? In times of challenge. There we go.
What are the 3 tools I use to spring back to joy in times of
challenge.
You want me to answer that now, vocally?
Yes, one by one. So I like to leave them written so people can see them later on, because welcome all of you who are going to see this in a different time, because this is going to stay in my Facebook page and it's going to stay in my YouTube channel. So people can come back. Probably I'll come back to it too, because I just love to hear you so much. So what would be the 3 tools that you personally use when a challenge is there and your joy is a little bit obstructed? Because it's normal. There's day and light, there's storm and sun. So what would these 3 tools be that you want to share?
Well, I think probably just if people are listening in today, and they will probably gather the same 3 tools that I have repeatedly said in different conversations that we've spoken today. One of them, of course, being faith, the second being family, and third being love. And
can we
those 3 together are a great combination.
So faith, can you tell us a little bit more about faith? How what is faith? How do you apply? How is this a tool? Just the word faith, but can you describe a little bit more how you?
I like to say the word faith because I think so many people are diversified in their beliefs, whatever it may be. I respect. For me, my faith that I was born into, obviously, I do believe in, that taught me kindness and forgiveness above all.
Okay, so faith for you is kindness.
So faith for me is about kindness and forgiveness.
So that would be the first one.
Those are the first 2 words that come to my mind from my faith.
Okay, kindness and forgiveness. Now, when you say forgiveness, you need to be offended first to be able to forgive, right? So that means that when you feel hurt, you take it easy, you digest it, you are kind, and then forgiveness comes on its own, something like that.
Forgiveness comes because of 2 reasons. One reason, you choose to keep moving forward and not staying in that spot that hurts. And therefore, the feeling of pain doesn't live with you all the time because you are moving forward. So it is not forgotten. It's a lesson to be learned, and it's a valued lesson that's always added. And the forgiveness happens from the moment that you're hurt. You decide to forgive, and therefore that's the only reason you're able to move forward, is because that decision is made. And with time, forgiveness on that particular issue or subject becomes valid.
So when you say you choose to forgive, It means that you choose to take that what offended you, let's say a thorn that came in that offended you, and translate it into, let me understand this person. Let me get into her or his shoes. So then you are not allowing the thorn to come in, because you're not allowing your imagination to hurt you by making the problem bigger against of something that seems to be done against you. Is that something like that?
It is something like that, and it's also the reason of not to seek revenge or not to seek that. What am I going to do to hurt that person back?
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
There is no time or room for it. It's a waste of energy. It's negativity, which I choose to be away from. So that is part of my faith, but it's also a part of my character.
Okay, very good. This I believe can be a very good tool for people to know, because you're hurt. You're hurt because you allowed it. Nobody can hurt you without your permission. However, when you're hurt and it hurts a lot, you cannot tell that you are the one allowing that hurt to come in, because you are not wanting to understand the other person, which this is where kindness comes in. So to give this tool that, okay, there's no room to want to hurt the person back, because when you hurt the person back, you cannot feel good. Because in order to hurt someone, you need to feel bad, right? So then you would be doing the same thing that was done upon you. And so this is a very good tool, I believe, that, okay, I want, but if you say there's no room to hurt back, okay, no room to hurt back, okay, and then you can calm down. Okay, do I really want to hurt myself by thinking I want to hurt someone back? So the kindness comes in, right?
Kindness comes in, definitely.
Very nice.
Kindness comes in.
What would be the second?
And there's room to distribute kindness to others. If someone's hurt you, it doesn't mean that you distribute pain and hurt to others. You keep distributing kindness anyway.
Yes. What would be your second? We have here Mictlan. Mictlan, hello. This is an incredible artist. We've been doing things together here at Villas Hishu. I'm glad that you're listening to Jessica. And so we'll.
Hi, everybody.
He is an incredible artist who bases his philosophy of painting and art in the Toltec philosophy, which is all about empathy, all about kindness. You will love it. I will put you both together in touch.
I would love. That would be a pleasure.
Well, I'm going to send you the links. He did one in English, and then everybody said, we want it in Spanish. So we did it again in Spanish.
I would love. That would be really a pleasure. Yes, I'm curious now. I wanna know more.
Oh, well, let me write the name of Mick. It's there. Nancoatl. You will see it in the replay. It's already there. So Mictlan Coatl. So can you tell us now number 2? The number 2 tool that you want to share with us. You use the first one is faith, which is kindness and forgiveness. Number 2?
Family.
Which one?
Family.
Family. We are a family. Your mother and we. Tell us more about family, because, oh my God, I love to go to your place, and it's always full of people. You can always, out of nothing, everybody can eat. You know, if there is one bean, you will share it in 8, and everybody will eat 1/8 of a bean, and we will laugh.
Of course.
It's so nice, you know, to go to your home, and it's always open. I mean, if you're around, because you're
like yours.
You know, I want my hearts to be here. Yeah, tell us about family and how that is a tool.
Family, that's easy. It's just so easy. There's no comfort net. There is no comfortable bed. There's no net that will hold you. There is nothing that's gonna love you unconditionally, just the way you are, absolutely whatever, and forever keep giving you love more than family. So you can only replicate that and give back the same way that you've received, in abundance and in total perfection and total perfection.
I want to tell you something. I believe what you're saying absolutely. However, more than once, I've been in homes where the person lives alone in a beautiful villa and they can never be together in family. You can ask them, are you going to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever together? Oh, no, 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 no. I want to go see them, but no, no. Those occasions we can't be together. So how can this be? How can this be?
I wish I can answer that on behalf of the person who would say no, 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 no. Since I'm not that person, I'm sorry to say I would not understand.
Yeah.
The only thing I can analyze, perhaps I can analyze, and always they say, I don't want to say I assume because you know what that means. You make an ass out of you and me.
No, no,
So I will analyze instead. And if I analyze, I think somewhere along the way, they've been hurt by family. They never spoke or opened up to each other. They never came to terms with any issues that they had and solved them and closed them to the end. So they're able to go on and move forward. They're stuck at a time where they were hurt and they're not letting go of it. And somehow they've just grown into that lonely place. Perhaps.
Yes, I want to write it down because I think it's really, really important. Myself, I grew up in an environment where I was scared of my parents, so I didn't feel in my childhood. I did, of course. My mother loved her sisters, and we would go, and I had my cousins, and we would play. Yeah, that was very nice. However, in my home, I didn't feel I belonged. I felt I was stupid. I felt I was ugly. I felt it was not enough, and my mother never knew. My mom was an incredibly loving person. She would cook herself everything with the best ingredients, and that I could feel because as every now and then when I come back from school, she'd tell me, I cooked this for you, which meant I have now a platform to exist. So I do exist. However, being so strict, I mean, everything had to be super clean and I had to do the way she saw it. I mean, my hands were little because I was little. Her hands are bigger, so she can clean quicker or whatever. I was always scared. Oh, you're gonna spill the milk. You're gonna spill the milk, and then I would have it had to be you. You know that kind of stuff. And I became sick from so much criticizing myself. So I sort of understand what these people say. However, I really want to point out, please communicate with them. Because now I understood my mom, if she screamed at me, now I understood it because she was screamed at and she thought this was the way. So now I absolutely have no problem, you know. I thought they were ogres and now ogres? I mean, no way. The life, I mean, we traveled. I had always an extra spoon of soup, you know. There, no way they were ogres, but I thought they were. So this what you said, please connect with your family members and communicate and continue growing. Never, never anybody hurts you on purpose, much less your mother. So if you think or feel that you want to criticize your mom, remember, you are cutting the flow of your life. And here I want to add a picture of you and your mommy. Oh, I love so much. Look at look at this beautiful.
Well, I always say all mommies are angels, regardless of what people say about them. Sometimes their children don't see them that way, but every mother on earth is an angel.
Yeah. Yes. This almost brings me tears to my eyes because I've seen how you guys live. Whether it's imposed or not, you live together every single day. You sleep together every single day. If you go to Paris, she's with you. If you come back here, she's with you. And I have never seen at all your mom, Helen, doubt
Thank you,
about
Gloria.
your capabilities. Never. She just knows she can. She's always there, like really quietly. And I mean, this is a joy. I mean, a joy that I guess is translated in your dresses to make your people Look
Make
at
my brides happy mothers.
look at this dress. I mean, who is the creator of this one?
That's Yad Nakat. So these pictures, by chance, have been coming up of the collections that I've
Yeah, I guess I like his style.
Yes, yes.
Really, really, I want to so much tell everybody, please, please make up with your mom if you haven't.
I was just going to say that, and I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yes, tell me.
But please, anyone that has a mother or a father that they've had a fight with or a disagreement with, step back when you're in a bad mood because you don't want to put fire on the grill. Just step back until you're calm. Find an appropriate time. Sit together and talk about it. Talk about it several times if you have to, not just once. And just have it in your heart to say, you know what? I'm going to try. If I'm not used to forgiving, I'm going to try to forgive and pretend that I'm just going to start a fresh day tomorrow with this person. And that's the only way that you grow mentally, and it's the only way that you grow emotionally, and it's the only way that you educate yourself and others how to be a human.
I agree with you, and I would say one more thing. Your heart opens, and when it opens, it's like a blooming, a connection to source.
Yes.
Straight connection. When you're connected with source, your light meridians open, and the source light flows in you. And
Yes.
this light source, it's always there. You just need to permit it. You just need to let it be. How?
Recognize it. Recognize it.
Just open the heart by being kind, like you said, and want to understand that if your mother or father thinks so differently, who cares?
It's okay.
If
Yeah.
it's different
You're
thoughts,
going
who
to
cares?
think differently with your kids as well. That's part of
I mean,
all the different
the kids
eras that we
way,
live through.
the lungs work in another way, and they together, if they don't work together, this is never going to happen. You're not going to be breathing. The heart pumps blood. The lungs bring oxygen. Completely different ideas. But if they, but together they make us live.
True. Just
So
simply respect.
simply respect.
Just simply respect the differences.
So what will be the third one, please?
Love.
Love.
Everything is about love.
Love.
Everything is about love. Everything. Faith is love. Family is love. Relations are love. Nature is love. Work is love. Food is love. Love yourself. Love others. Love everything. There's no love. There's nothing at all
Okay,
whatsoever.
I just want you
No
to
love,
tell
for
me
sure. And it's an
what,
industry I choose to be in.
what
Love.
is
They
love.
love each other. They get married, and I make the beautiful gown for them.
So
And
tell me
I'm
what
pushing
is
them to be
love.
in love, stay in love, and create more love.
But tell me what is love.
What is love? That is a very good question because it's so commonly used
Yes,
and
exactly.
so commonly abused.
Yes, commonly used and abused.
And commonly abused.
The term.
What is love? Love is trying your best to use all your senses not to hurt anything or anyone around you.
Trying your best to use all your senses, not to hurt anyone. Is that what you said?
Anyone or anything around you.
Okay, around you. Let me see. Can I please say thank you to StreamYard, this beautiful platform that allows me to do what I'm doing.
Thanks to you, I'm, I never knew it existed.
Trying your best to use all your senses, not to hurt anyone or anything around you. This means to me that I'm going to not be able to be free to live because I'm trying not to hurt others. How do you balance this?
You can live completely, life to the fullest, and
Yes.
still not hurt anything or anyone around you.
Okay.
You don't have to. You don't have to inject any kind of any form of pain on anyone for you to live and to be happy.
Okay, I would weave this to your other number two, would you, or the number one, kindness mostly. So then, because when you're trying your best not to hurt anyone, I feel I would be stuck in trying not to hurt anyone. But if I trust my heart and I know that in automatic I'm not going to hurt anyone because everything and anything I do is connected with the gratitude and joy of love for life, then I don't have to be trying not to make a mistake.
Perhaps I use the word trying because sometimes habits take apparently 21 days, from what writers have said, to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And when you want to change a habit, you have to try to go against your nature to change a habit of something that you like to do. You have to try to make it better by doing something that's better for you and for others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you try. But then when it becomes a natural part of you, then you don't have to try anymore because it's in default and it's normal, and your heart and your guts and your soul and everything else just starts operating that way by nature.
The only thing here would be not to try all your life, because you
You
can.
don't try all your life.
So
You
then
become that
maybe
person. You actually
maybe you have to
become
choose to do it without trying. Just know.
you become that person when you are aware.
Faith, nurture it with kindness all the time, kindness all the time. So then you're already doing it, no? Without the try,
Of course, of course.
which is truly
It's not an exerted effort. It comes by nature.
it comes by nature.
But
Yes.
for those who don't have it by nature, they will just have to give that little bit. It's like exercising that extra 5 minutes just to make a difference. You're just giving yourself a little bit of an exercise, which will make a difference.
What exercise would you suggest for people to do to be able to come to this kind of new habit?
Spend more time in nature.
Okay, this is very nice.
Appreciate what's around you.
In nature and appreciate. I'm
And
absolutely.
most of all, I have a saying. I've been saying this all my life since I was at school, and since until today with everyone that I work with at every level. I say, open your eyes and look. But when you look, you have to see, because there's looking and there's seeing, and they're not the same. So when you're out in nature and you are looking, absorb what you're looking at, identify it, identify a color, identify a shape, identify a scent, touch it, get some kind of a feeling back, some kind of an energy back from that nature. It will fulfill your soul very, very highly. And if you can be kind to it, because nature is a living thing as well, just like an animal is a living thing. So if you're able to be kind to it,
Well,
it's going to be so kind to us.
then you would be kind to yourself because we are nature as well, right?
Absolutely. We are nature. We
And
are nature.
I
So just spend a little more time. But I don't mean a little more time now only because there's a pandemic and, we're so sick of being in lockdown and we need to be out for a while. And then you're out, but you're on your phone, texting everybody, and you don't see what's around you anyway. It's actually spending time in nature without all the technology and acknowledging it and helping it to help us.
Very nice. I'm going to run a little half a minute video now in Shoe because I created this video to bring serenity back to us. So we're going to have the whole next week. We're going to have events of people that are coming from all over the country to share their experiences with serenity or how you can come back to it. So this is.
And that's a secret and be like.
It is for me to invite you to this special place where birds speak, trees hug, and you feel. It's an amazing opportunity to remember that you are as perfect as this tree. The doors of the Lassishu from November 9 to November 15 for you to come and remember the magic with you. Magic in all this nature, this 200-year-old trees, all the beautiful art of our Mexican traditional artists and their gifts. They're waiting for you. The week of 9 to 15 of November, let's together weave magic back into serenity. I'm Gloria, the dreamer and mother of
for you.
I love it, Gloria, because Villaxichu is exactly that. And I experienced it there. And a lot of people, I think, need that time to experience themselves and experience that as well. It's going to bring a new light in their life.
And this is contagious. This is the thing.
It
When
is
you are
contagious.
relaxed, you're contagious. Now you can talk to the flowers because you are, like you said, now you are in that. Now I can talk like I have this beautiful flowers. You're looking at me. Look how beautiful that somebody brought. This is Khalaf for us. So yes, and you will be able to appreciate, look, the work of my artist. So now you can really, really appreciate with all your heart. And I appreciate with all my heart your time. Thank you so, 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 so much. I can't wait to hug you in about 10 days. Hugging you in Dubai.
Our arms are open,
Yes.
guys. And until then, I want to say that you always find the right words, you always find the right questions to dig deep into people and to bring out the best in them. And I've seen you do that time and time again in all the beautiful home gatherings that you do, and what you've done in Villaxichu, what you've done in so many places that you've been and seen, and all the places that we've met. You do have that beautiful, natural way of spreading love and bringing out whatever is in there hiding out into the world. So
You know who's hiding?
thank you for hosting me. I appreciate it.
You know who's hiding right now, and it's your father. I don't know.
Oh, he's always there hugging us.
Him and his jokes and his art and having been the seed that brought you here to here in Belendez.
Alhamdulillah.
See
Bless
you
him.
very, very, very soon. God bless your mom. God bless your dad. Anything you have, please, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let it go. Who cares? Thank you so very much, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.